Welcome everyone, welcome to the Rabid Mining YouTube channel. It is Saturday where we do our live stream. Let me know if the music to voice ratio is okay for you guys, and my headset is blurring away beside me, so hold on one second. There we go. All right guys, welcome. Let's do a quick roll call here. I did throw out a poll to see if you guys checked out XM Rig yet. So far it looks like only 19% have said yes, 62% no, 15% says soon, and 4% said yes, I didn't like it. So there we go. So far we'll let that tally up for a little bit here, but let's do a quick roll call, guys. So John Germain, welcome. J-Rad, Fudweiser, Ogre, MGTOW, Edward Jr., Stephen Cochran, Golden Wolf, Tenacious D, Colex X1, Automatic Beats, Welco, Golden Wolf, White Arctic Walker, James Hansen, Ghazi Ahmed, and the Smooth Goat. What do we got here? Robert Tescheder, I think. I don't know. I'm probably butchering that. Joker's 83, and we got Just a Miner. Oh my gosh. Not Your Biz. What's going on? Aragon Strider, Kiss Ruckus, Parkish M, Crypto Baltus, Craig Davis, BDDE. So welcome everyone to the live stream here. Sorry, my throat is like very scratchy right now. I don't know what's going on here. No, I am not sick. So I just want to run through something right first here. Is we did hit over 20,000 subscribers. Oh, we just hit another one right there. So if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like and thumbs up button as well for the the YouTube algorithm. So much appreciated to all of you guys, because you guys is what makes a channel. It's not me, it's you guys. So you guys, hitting that like button, watching the videos, enjoying the content. We just got another subscriber. Keep it coming, guys. Let's hit 30,000 today. That's not going to happen. It was a joke. But anyway, much appreciated to all you guys. You guys are what makes the channel what it is. And without you guys, there would be no me. So big shout out to all of you guys out there. Thank you very much. So let's take a look here. See what everyone's talking about. So far, it looks like XM Rig. And I did do a little test. I've been mining with XM Rig for about, how long has it been now? I guess 18, 19 hours. And I do have these kind of quick results here. So make this a little bit smaller so you guys can see this a little better. Oh, that's way bigger. Hold on, adjusting screens. We got a screen dilemma happening. Let me just, make this a little different size here so we can get more of the, oh my gosh. Butcher. More butchering. Okay, how about this? Little better. So people have been saying in some of the comments there this morning, I just dropped that video about XM Rig. I did do it last night, obviously, when it first dropped. But they've been getting a lot of invalid shares. So far, I am sitting, looks like 0 invalid shares. So I'm not running into this issue myself. And here you can see our 3950X, which is using the CPU Miner GR. We're averaging 3.93 kilohash and 3.77. Again, in blue, 3950X. And on my 5950X, which is off and on all the time, we're having an average hash rate of 4.06 kilohash for the same time frame. So that's pretty good. We do see a little improvement. Remember, it's very, very early. We do have to let this, it'll change every single day. And obviously right now it is turned off because I'm live streaming, but we are performing at least as good as the dedicated CPU Miner GR, which does have a 1.75 dev fee, and XM Rig is only 1%. So you're saving on dev fee right there. The other issue that a lot of people are asking me right in the comments, do you see a 15% gain as advertised? Well, that is not an advertised number. 15% is not advertised. If you look down here at the actual release notes, open up, here we go. So you guys see this right here? I'll make it even bigger so we can see these numbers. It is saying you get a 15% gain only on the Ryzen 7 4700U. If you're unfamiliar with the 4700U, I really wasn't until I actually just looked it up last night. That is a laptop CPU, so you're mobile grade. So you are seeing a 15% on possibly if you're mining with your laptop. Everything else, no. It looks like this 2600 i7 is allegedly 7.5%, 0.65. But for the most part, it is about the same, and you get to skip that whole full tuning process altogether. You just fire it up and you are mining 100% right off the get-go. So Good stuff there. Let's see if there's anything going on. Oh, I see a bunch of ats. Remember, if you have a question, this is also an AMA. Send me that at. Send the super chat. Hopefully I don't miss it, because I guess I did do that before. Sorry, Fudweiser. White Arctic Walker at Rabid Mining question. For what things have you broken as a miner besides BC Gamers Hearts? But hearts, I know what you meant there. What all have I broken? Well, I haven't really broken too much because I don't really go crazy on the overclock. So like you see people previously, like they've melted some wires, they've done whatever, you know, that happens from throwing, say, SATA on your riser and mining Ravencoin. You're just going to melt it. It's only rated for like 52 watts. Not a good idea. Myself, I like to run efficient. Yes, there's the odd test where I try to, you know, max things out to see what I can get. But I am not, you know, going crazy on it and burning things out. If you run long-term maximizing stuff, you could lead into long-term issues. But because I do run efficiently, then I haven't really broken anything that I can think of off the top of my head. Actually, I'm wrong. I did melt a motherboard. I melted a motherboard. It caught on fire on me. It's not my fault. Well, it kind of technically is, because what actually happened is I picked up, what is this, 1200 watt P2 platinum power supply used. It was on great deal. I went to get the CPU, but the guy threw in the PSU as well for X amount. You know, the deal seemed too good to be true. So I was like, okay, whatever. He gave some new cables with it as well. Everything stamped EVGA. I plugged that in. I couldn't figure out. It wasn't working. I was like, okay, great. This is a dead power supply. So then I hooked it to my watt meter and back into that motherboard, and I kept testing it and I kept testing it. And then my watt meter started saying power surge and all this stuff. It hit 1 watt, and then it'd go up to 200 watts, then it'd drop back down to 1, and it would say surging on my watt meter. I was like, what's going on? So right when I went to unplug it, it was too late. My motherboard popped, and there's a big black spot on the bottom, smoke everywhere. My basement reeked for like a week of electrical. And yeah, a motherboard did catch on fire through testing that power supply. So I have not plugged that power supply into anything ever since. So I guess technically I did wreck something. Not your biz. Hey, how's it going? Max voltage at Rabbit. Check your stream health. Not sure if there's anything you can do about it. Yeah, I do see that it is saying I got some yellow things. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I am down to only 720 for this stream. I don't know what's going on. Something with the internet. It's not snoring or anything, but the little one is watching a show upstairs on Netflix, so that may be causing issues. So let me know, you know, if this stream keeps exploding. Usually I don't have this error. It pops up the odd time, but I may be running into issues. So sorry for that if I am. Did I miss any other? Oh, here we go. Congrats on 20K. What are your thoughts on PBO 2.0 versus all-core overclocking for 530 series CPUs? As using this can raise. I have not tested yet. I did see Son of Tech's video, obviously. Everyone probably has. And people have been blowing up the Discord asking about it. I have not tried it yet. It's going to be really hard for me to test it because my 5950X is in my workstation desktop, which has an AIO. You know, it's got a whole bunch of extra fans in there. It's got a 3080. So, you know, trying to get a full system with just a motherboard and CPU to see what type of power consumption we're going to be using, it's going to be very, very difficult. So I'm going to have to, you know, sometime in the future, if any prices drop in, or which I highly doubt it due to scalpers, I need to try to get a 5000 series dedicated rig so I can do those tests. I can look for hash rates and whatnot, but when it comes to efficiencies and power consumptions, I just don't know if it's actually going to be worth it. At the same time, Son of Tech brought a lot of massive, great insight to that. I don't really want to recommend it to people either, because a lot of people that are mining Raptoreum or CPU mining have been buying like, you know, like the B450s and, you know, lower grade motherboards because they're cheaper. So if you do plan on potentially overclocking and boosting all that to your motherboard, even though you can set it to your motherboard limits, but if you try to go past that, you could be frying your motherboard due to the VRAMs, you know, not supporting it, and, you know, something bad could happen there. So before I get more information to display something to people, I don't want to just do it and then have other people do it and then be, you know, just blowing stuff up and wrecking things. So, you know, there's a lot of other stuff to it other than just showing you, hey, we're hitting, you know, over 5,000 hashes here at whatever amount of power. But I want to find, you know, obviously compare this to efficiency settings and get it till I can get full dedicated numbers on it. I just don't want to go and say it's better. So far, hash rate wise, for sure, it's looking good. It sounded like around 140, 150 watts, which is fairly high, but that hash rate is also high as well. So till I do a lot more testing, I will be looking into it into my workstation and maybe comparing the extra wattage used or something. But for now, I can't really confirm whether you guys should all go out and do that or not. What do we got going on here now? Any more ads for me? I got a Tomahawk B450 for 61 bucks. Good motherboards, but it can be cheap. Oh, that's for sure. I'm not saying you cannot find a great deal, especially in US. If you know Black Fridays, you guys have amazing deals. I saw all over the place. The 3900X was like half price the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh. I go to click on it, not available in Canada and not available, you know, in everything in Canada. They just don't have these Black Friday deals, and nothing is on sale here at all. So it's horrible here. New at mining with 12600K raptoreum. I try XM rig, but I can configure it correct. You mean you can't configure it correct? I'm assuming there. I mine about an hour donating. Please show exactly what you do to use my address and pool. Well, I used my own. Well, I didn't use the actual config. I used the bat file. So I don't know if you watched my video, but this morning I went through everything that I actually do here. And can you guys even see that? So I'm just going to go to my miners here. I'm going to go to CPU, raptoreum, I guess, for this one in my normal one. And like, here is my example. No, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Edit. There we go. So this is all I have set up right here. You can see it here. This is your address. Like to the pool you want to use, change this to whatever pool you want to use, and all you do is, these are the only two things you had to change here. So this right here, add the pool you want to go to, and this right here is your wallet address and your worker name. So you put your wallet address, then a period, whatever name you want to name your worker, and that's it. Again, you got to make sure you right click here and make sure XM rig does run as an administrator. I'll just move this up so you can see that. You right click it, compatibility. Make sure you have a check mark as run as administrator, hit OK, and you're good to go. So those are the only things you have to change. Now, if you get into your config, you can start changing other settings like CPU priority and whatnot. You can set it to run like 80% of your CPU instead of 100%. But I haven't gone into the config. I just ran it this way, and that's it. So I will be doing other settings and whatnot, especially when Hive OS has still not updated it. And then I will be updating more information on XM rig. But for now, it's just a quick throw out, get running in Windows, because that's all that's available at the moment. Okay, at Rabid Mining, can you take a look at the new GPU and CPU mineable coin OBTC Heavy Hash? Very new, very hot value, difficulty very low. 420 mega hash on a 3070 LHR. 420 mega hash on a 3070. Again, I can look into it. Let me write that down. New coins like this that are just spiking with no difficulty and not well known. Got to keep in mind that is in the spec mining category, which Raptoreum is still in the spec mining category. And what I mean by spec mining is it's not a valid, well, don't correct me here, that's not right. It is a valid coin. It's not an established coin like you would with like XMR or Ethereum or something like that. So these things hold value. They'll stay like that. When the market goes up, you'll see little upswings up. When the market goes down, you'll see upswings down. Now, when it comes to spec mining coins, when the market goes up, they might not go up. When the market goes down, they might not go down, or they might go down too far. You got to be very wary of the devs, and you know, do they have a bunch of bagged coins in their pocket when the coin first came out? So there's a lot of background information you should know for potential rug pulls or anything out that. So I will try to maybe take a look at that, see what it's all about, but for right now I haven't really even heard about it. OBTC. So OBTC, I did write that down. We'll see what happens. On my 3800X, I got like a 15 kilohash when I tried it. 15 kilohash, I'm assuming on a rotation 16. I can't remember which rotation. It's like anywhere between 15, 16, or 17. One of those threes is the high one, and you will see a massive increase boost in hash rate. Across it, you also see an increase in power. But when it gets to some of them, you could probably be down to under a kilohash when it comes to the 3800X. Chancoin for Intel 12900K. I think you have set those P cores or E cores for mining. I could be wrong. I'm all Lisa Sue at the moment. Hey, I agree with you. I'm 100% AMD when it comes to mining and everything. I used to be awful. I used to be full Intel like years back, but as soon as that first Ryzen dropped, and then, you know, it's been game over ever since the 3000 series for Intel for the most part. When it comes to their efficiency cores and whatnot, I don't really know what's going on in there. I've read a few blog posts where the efficiency is just another name, another version that they're saying for a dead performance core. You know, it's a core that isn't really performing like the other cores. So they, you know, to save money and with all this manufacturing shortage, they decided to just throw those in there and, you know, they'll just use less power and not perform as well. Again, not 100% sure if that's even true or not, but it's just, you know, ideas people have been throwing around. But when it comes to those CPUs, I have no idea what's really going on with them. I have not looked into them, tested them, or even thought about even purchasing one. Look for optical Bitcoin. It's meant to replace Bitcoin with an algo optimization for lower power optical computers. Okay, H-Man, right off the get-go, if you put any coin saying meant to replace Bitcoin, then you know that those devs are saying that it's false. I just don't think any coin will ever replace Bitcoin. It is the first crypto. It is the OG. It is the master. There's been tons and tons of, you know, coins dubbed Bitcoin killers. There's been tons of coins dubbed Ethereum, you know, killers, all this stuff. But when it comes down to it in the end, that's just, you know, devs trying to hype up a coin. It's not going to happen, I don't think, anytime ever. Anonymous Miner, thank you for the $5 donation. 99 watching and 37 thumbs. Smash that thumb for Rabid. Yes, guys, what's going on here? I see 100 watching now and 41 likes. Smash that like button, guys. We need some more likes, like ASAP now, please. What's going on with the poll? 57 with no, 20% with yes. So we are going up. Also, one thing about XMRig, which I really like, plus bonus, I'm not trying to sell XMRig or anything. I just think, you know, it's a very well established. So comparison of XMRig on other miners is like saying T-Rex for NVIDIA cards, Team Red Miner for AMD cards. It is that well established. So XMRig for your CPUs, it's just that simple. XMRig is pretty much used across all the other CPU mining coins out there, which brings out a lot of other points about Monero Ocean, where could XMRig or Monero Ocean now add Raptoreum potentially to it, because as we know, Monero Ocean is a profit switching pool. It uses XMRig, but its own forked version of it, so it's XMRig-MO for Monero Ocean. But you could see if they do add that algorithm, and you know, obviously XMR is a way more established coin when it comes to CPU mining. You could start profit switching Raptoreum into XMR. That could be a nice big bonus in the CPU mining world for sure. So there's a lot of interesting possibilities that could come out because XMRig did finally adapt this algorithm. It was just a matter of time. You know, Raptoreum is very profitable, and when that comes out, people are going to start increasing their miners. More miners are going to release, and for XMRig to actually do this and finally release it is actually a pretty big deal, guys. So I'd highly recommend to start using XMRig if you haven't. Plus, you know, the dev fee, 1%, no full tune. Performance seems on par as the original miner, at least. Okay, what do we got here? Hey, Mr. Rabbit. Hey, what's going on? Osaska? Oh, I probably totally butchered that. I'm so sorry, guys. Sorry for butchering your name. Not your biz. Do you realize XMRig uses super precise timestamps? I wonder if that actually helps with stales. I'm not sure, because some people are saying they tried it and they were getting a lot of stales. So I don't know what's really going on the back end or happening over there. But again, stale shares is also a result of your internet connection. But then again, if you're just swapping over to a new miner and you're getting it and you weren't getting it before, then it could potentially be a minor issue. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. I have not witnessed any of these stale shares myself. At Rabid Mining, Mallet wanted to know the best firmware for Antminer L3 Plus. I would recommend the Hivon firmware. A lot of people do use Bliss as well, but I don't think Bliss has an antivirus, so Hivon does have antivirus. And if you are unfamiliar with the Bitmain virus that is plaguing the Antminers, when you're going to buy a used one, really be careful, because there's a way you can short out your control board on the L3 Plus to get rid of it, but at the same time, it's a high % chance that you could just short out the board completely and have to buy a new one, which is what I had to do anyway. I ended up getting a new control board to get this L3 Plus to actually work. So there was a vendor in Canada that does repair and, you know, sell ASIC products. So I got that from them, so it is up and running. But remember that Bitmain antivirus or Bitmain virus for those ASICs, what it does is it gets into your network, and if you have a bunch of Bitmain ASICs on the network, it spreads right through your network. So it's like plagues your complete network, and it turns off it switches all your miners' addresses to its address. And then on top of that, you can no longer flash it, you can no longer change it, you can no longer get into the IP or anything. It literally locks you right out of it. You can't even flash the SD card onto it. It locks it up from hardware and software scales. So that virus, it is a nasty one, and your app miner is pretty much done unless you do short out your control board or do it. It's the only way to fix it. So keep that in mind. So yes, Hivon I would recommend for it because it does have an antivirus, and it's the best security to prevent that from happening. To Tona Rabid, any video on underclocking your CPU? Now the 500X plus the M motherboard VRAM are heating the whole place way too much. I've done a few in my builds here. My motherboard video definitely has it in there. I'm running 3.8 now on my current rigs. The other ones I'm testing are 3.6, but I do plan on switching everything over to 3.8 at 1 volt. It does seem like a little more, it's slightly less efficient, but you are seeing a nice little gain in your actual hash rate, which does help with this difficulty. Again, if everybody does it, then the difficulty will just go up that much more. So, you know, we're all in the same boat here. What's the company was looking for L3 plus control boards also? They are called, they're out of Quebec. Decentral. They're called Decentral. Yes. So Decentral, whatever. And I believe they asked me a while ago, they said it depends on the ASIC as well, because you can't really repair L3 pluses anymore. You can get control boards, but when it comes to the hash boards, they're not made anymore. And you know, you can't really find the hash boards anywhere unless you're buying used ASICs or something. So when it comes to repairing them, they can't really do that. But they did say the first 5 people to send ASICs would be free repair jobs depending on the ASIC that I sent them. So that's kind of a promotion they're doing through my channel as well, which I found kind of cool. Nice. I'm still at 3.6 at 1 volt. Yeah, with the 3.6, I also found you can get down to 0.95 volts. I did have one rig that did want to do a reboot, so I did ultimately just throw everything to 1 volt. I probably should have just went to 0.97 beforehand, but I didn't. I just went straight to 1 volt. But that does seem stable all the way up to 3.8 at least. Red Llama Crypto, what's going on? Hey, what's happening? David, did 011 Pool have a web page? Yes, they do have a web page. It's getting overloaded at the moment, but I can find it for you if you would like it. Oh, it looks like it loaded pretty quick right now. So this is the web page for 011 Data Pool. If you do want to see it, I will load up. Let's see here. Where is my wallet so we can see how? Oh, never mind. We can't even really check it because I'm streaming right now, so I'm not mining with XM rig at the moment. Tenacious D, is it okay to run a 3900X at 3.8 and 1 volt? As I tried it and it locked up one of my rigs after switching and mining after a while. Couldn't need more volts. Remember, Silicon Lottery has a lot to do with it. Motherboard could have a lot to do with it. But yes, 3.8 is at 1 volt is what I run on well, 2 of my 3900Xs. I do plan on switching the other ones over, but that, yes, those are the settings that I'm currently running for mine, and plan on running the other ones in the future. Now at 1.3-ish volt and 85-ish degrees max, depending on the algo, of course, and 4.4 megahertz on all cores. Oh, that's crazy. 4.4. Yeah, turn that thing down. So the same way you turn it up, you do the exact same thing, just turn it down. So 3.8 at 1 volt would definitely cool that thing, because I think I'm only running like 50 degrees or something across most of my rigs. I want to do a quick thing here, see if HiveOS actually updated yet. So have they updated? Rig 7 is on the latest and still no update. So still no update here. Don't know what's going on. We haven't looked at the old, what's called here, Ethereum blocks. What's going on with Ethereum? What are our block rewards looking like today? Hit a refresh button. 2.3. Oh, we got a 3.2, 2.6, 2.4. So you guys see the gas yesterday was at like 1600. Pretty insane. Budweiser sent me a screenshot, said, what's going on? I said, well, I don't know. Everything's broken. The devs just don't know how to fix their network. They're too, the Ethereum devs, honestly, they're too one-cent minded to get to proof of stake. Well, not even the proof of stake. Proof of stake is probably still a good year and a half away, but The merge is set to the middle of next year. And keep in mind, that's what's going to happen. If you see, the merge is going to have, or 2.0, sharding everything, end of next year, beginning of the following year, and you think, oh, I have more time to mine. That is not the case. The swap over from GPU mining to proof of stake is called the merge. So people do get that mixed up. The merge is happening way before Ethereum 2.0 does come into place. So remember that. There's not much time of GPU mining left, but you never know. It could be extended. But it seems like their devs, their one set focus mind is to get that transition happening ASAP. And right now, whatever's happening on the network, whether it's as broken as it is with the most expensive, pretty much the most expensive network there is to use, they just don't care about it. They just want to move over, get rid of mining, and move to their new system. That's their number one priority right now. So anyway, blocks looking not too bad. There's a lot of rewards getting burnt like crazy in here. We did not hit. I was really expecting us to hit 900 terahash by now. It's been a couple weeks and we only peaked out at 892 and then it dropped off a little bit. So I don't know what's going on out there, what's happening. People are switching to other coins or something because it could potentially be more profitable. We've seen a lot of people doing solo mining tests and whatnot and working out to make more. So some people have probably been switching over to things. But yeah, we still have not hit 900 terahash. It's going to come soon. It's just a matter of time, but just not yet. Oh, my screen's moved. What do we got? More ads here. Max voltage. What do we have? I will be creating a video today or tomorrow with some new news about a possible new fork before the merge. We'll delay the merge a few more weeks. Nice. A few more weeks is all right, but hey, I did not hear about that. Sweet. We'll be looking forward to that, Max voltage. Because all the inside and outside of all this network stuff. So that's going to be a very interesting topic. If you guys do not know, Max Voltage is a very smart guy. He follows all these chains and what they're doing. And he'll give you the lowdown of what's happening. TPS miner, I have a feeling they will be careful with the move to POS because it could destroy their network if they aren't careful. Well, for sure, they want to make sure they get it right, because if they have any issues in that transition, if the network goes down or some mysterious group decides to attack it or something somehow in the back end, it's definitely going to look very bad, and obviously the price will fall. And there's other platforms that are getting built on like Ethereum is. Obviously they're not as big, but it's coming and they're doing it for a lot faster and a lot cheaper. So they definitely do not want anything to actually happen there, because if it does, they're going to lose a lot of people. But again, you never know what's going to happen here. Rabid Miner, do you have a complete setup video for 5900X? I have 7 on the way right now and I'm aiming for the OC CPU optimizations. I got all the X570 motherboards coming. So you got X570s coming, so for the most part, you could probably be utilizing that Precision Boost Override 2.0, which is only with the 5000 series, not the 3000 series. But again, I have not tried it myself, so it's going to take a lot more tweaking to get into that. Just for off the quick get-go, I would just recommend 3.8 at 1 volt. And then, once I get some more testing here, I can clarify how to actually do all this stuff later on. But yeah, I don't have a dedicated 5000 series rig, so I can't really do all the tests I actually want to do. Does XMRig use lower power in terms? I do not know yet. That's another test that I will be utilizing once Hive West does update it, because then I can throw it on a couple rigs. I'm going to have like 2 or 3 rigs on XMRig. I'll have 2 or 3 rigs on the CPU Miner GR, and then, I'll be going back to back comparing hash rates, because Hive West makes it very easy to do so. As well as I'll have a watt meter hooked up to one of each as well to see what our power consumption will look like based on different rotations that it hits. Oh, I'm going to need a whole team of, what's it called? Who was that? Someone mentioned that in one of the comments. I'm going to need a team for all these tests I'm doing, because it is crazy. This Ghostwriter algorithm, if you are unaware, like I talk about it almost in every video about how it actually works, but people keep asking, why is my hash rate fluctuating? Why is this going on? Because that's just the way the algorithm works. That's normal. If you're fluctuating hash rate, don't worry about it. Every day you will have a different hash rate. I talk about it a couple times where I say all my rigs pointed at once when I'm not doing all these different tests that I'm currently doing. I fluctuate per day between 25 kilohash to 45 kilohash. That's how much your daily average can change. So it's 20 different rotations, which means 20 different algorithms. And to put it another way, let's say you were Say you're GPU mining and you're mining 20 different coins, Ravencoin, Ethereum, Ergo, Flux, you know, all of them use 20 different algorithms. Like they all don't, but each one, like say you're mining 20 different GPU mineable coins like that, each one's on its own algorithm, each one has its own power consumption, each one has its own hash rate. That's how the Ghostwriter algorithm works for the one coin. That's how the algorithm works for the Raptoreum. It is switching between everything every couple blocks randomly. You never know what you're going to hit. And based on how many, which rotation it hit on the previous 24 hours, that's where your average hash rate is going to consider to be. Like one hash rate is on the 3900X is up to like 15 kilohash. The other one is down to like 1.2 kilohash. So if it hits the low one more one 24-hour period and then the high one the next, you're going to see huge swings in your average hash rate. So that's just how it works. And to test this thing, it is crazy. It takes a long time of different power tests, of different settings tests, of different RAM tests, just to get the numbers. I can't just throw it onto it like I would at XMR or what I could with a GPU with Ethereum and be like, all right, this is a quick tweaking on my memory and whatnot, and I got this hash rate and it's using this much power. It's not that easy. It takes weeks of testing each setting just to get a decent number to kind of give to you guys. Let's see here. Rabid made a video on solo mining and still not really worth it until you feel super lucky. Yeah, solo mining, just like anything, whether you're solo mining with a GPU or you're solo mining with your CPU, if you do not hit that block, you're not gonna get any rewards. Over time, they say like if you mined on a pool for a year and you solo mine for a year, in theory, you should work close to the same, plus minus a block or something. But it's all up to luck. You know, if you're trying it for a week, trying it for 2 weeks or a month, it's just not going to play out unless you're heavily lucky short term over the long term type of period. Which we found out my 1 week test resulted in 0 blocks, so I didn't mine any Raptoreum, but I did get 4,000 in return. Tomorrow I will get my next payout to see how the smart nodes are paying out, so we'll be looking at that at tomorrow's live stream, because usually it happens right about the time the stream starts. Xtosca, hey Rabid, hey, what's going on? I've applied the BIOS settings for your previous video, but still getting max 2250 hash max on a 3900 XT at 3.8 with 1 volt, and also same out of the box default settings. Any idea how to increase? Niley Shy, not sure how to say that, but is that with the benchmark, or is that just, you know, watching your hash rate at the pool or something? Because it's two totally different things. Thanks for all the testing, so we do not have to. Yeah, welcome to the Rabid Mining YouTube channel. So I waste my power so you can run efficient, stuff like that. And Rig 5, he gets really mad. You guys gotta be nice to Rig 5, man. He watches some of you guys' comments, and you know he thanks all you guys for the support, but he gets really upset very easily. Yo, can you solo mine anything? Not your biz? Yeah, you can solo mine as long as there's a solo mining pool. Now, if there is no pool available to solo mine it, you can technically set up your own pool to mine to it solo. I've never done that or ever tried to get into it because I have no idea how actual pools run themselves. So that's not my department, but it is very possible to do so. Hey, I can't connect to the 011 data pool. It says Stratum authentication failure. Arias, that's probably due to your worker name. If you do plan to go to the 011 data pool, you cannot have any spaces or special characters in your worker name. It can only be numbers or letters altogether. That is it. So remember, like example, I guess I can't really type on there, but yeah, numbers and letters only. How long have you solo mined RTM before you stopped? What was your ping to the solo pool? I tried a few different solo pools. Eventually I had Coin Miners. I believe my ping was somewhere around 98 to 120. Zerg pool, I think I was in the like 180 to 200s, and then I can't remember what other ones were, but my ping is not that great anywhere I usually go. There's no pool really close to where I am in Western Canada, and yeah, everything, like even 011 data pool, I think the lowest I ever had was maybe 120. So usually if I'm around anywhere at a max of 170 180, then I always consider myself okay. And that's usually what I'm running at for ping wise. But yeah, I don't have the greatest internet out here, so it's not the best. Are they dropping the smart node onboarding minimum to 500 soon? Last I'd heard, it was a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, It is supposed to be dropping soon. I'm not sure what, when it's going to be, but he did say very, very soon. So it should be going down to 500. And remember, originally when this first opened up with the smart nodes, it was a 10,000 minimum. And then it dropped down to 5,000. And now it's 1,000. And it is supposed to be going down to 500. And when everything's fully automated, I think it'll go with at least one. So as soon as there's Raptoreum in there, it'll automatically go straight into a node. But again, I cannot confirm or deny that because I'm not 100% sure on that. But it is supposed to be dropping to at least 500 here soon. iNode's payout has been delayed as a safety margin since some people didn't enable two-factor and got their payout address changed. Is giving a chance for people to double check. Oh, I didn't really keep up. I hear that, but there you go. Make sure you have your 2F. I don't have my 2FA actually. I just roll it in through my Discord login. But yeah, if you are running like Google Authenticator with your 2F and all that stuff, make sure your addresses are correct. Make sure you're getting discharged to the correct wallet address. Like myself, I mine to the Raptoreum core address so I can check every individual transaction and everything. Keep it nice and simple. But when I do get my smart node payouts, it does go to my Zelcore wallet so I can track that. So I'm tracking each thing separately so I know what's coming in from where. Okay, I just splitted my farm in half and tried solo RTM on Beneficial pool. Wish me luck. Good luck. What pool is that? I don't even know that pool. Was that a new pool? What's going on? Raptoreum pools. I gotta look at this. Where's Raptoreum pools? Mining pool stats. Their new solo pool. Do I gotta try this test again? I'm just kidding. I don't want to try it again. That was hurtful that whole week there with no Raptoreum. Oh, I just moved the screen on the wrong one. Where is this pool? Oh, oh, right there. Number 6, Canada. I seen this the other day. It's picking up hash rate. Nice, 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 guys. Where's this pool located? Maybe I should try it out. So it does solo. All right, good stuff. Write that in my notes. Canadian pool that does solo mining. Oh my gosh. Again. I don't want to do it again, but maybe I have to do it again. Oh my God. I don't know what to do now. It's I think iModes are working hard on reducing it to 500 because there is someone in node 201 with 633. Oh, maybe there was a test transaction or something. Could be. Stephen Cochran, pretty soon now my weekly iNodes will be more than 2 days of mining. Yeah, that's pretty insane. I was thinking the same thing. Pretty soon we're going to be, because the difficulty is going up so high, the weekly iNode payments are going to be higher than my weekly mining profits. In theory, if, obviously if I keep putting it into there, which is pretty sweet. So once I get to that point, maybe I'll just, swap all my rigs over to something else. Because then I can just keep my weekly earnings on par with that. Unless obviously, a whole bunch of people sell or move off the network or go to something else. Or a lot of things can happen when it comes down to it. What is the actual Raptoreum network at right now? So we got Flock Pool sitting at 78.4%. Very, very bad. But whatever. People want to do it. They want to do what they want to do. Oh, 79 now. 229 network hash rate. Not too bad. One thing I do want to point out too, a lot of people, when I do my profit videos, people are like, how are you getting so much? I'm not making that much. This is not saying that much. How are you getting so much Raptoreum? And I showed you guys in the last live stream last week. It was a transaction per transaction. The honest only answer I can say is I'm not mining on Flock Pool. That's the easiest answer I can give you guys. I'm on a different pool. And when looking at Flock Pool, which results in looking at the best thing, there's so many miners on Flock Pool. Yes, they're finding lots of blocks. Yes, but the block to hash ratio on the pool is lower, which means you are actually not getting this. You're losing rewards because you are not finding enough blocks to compete with the amount of hash rate that is actually on the pool. If that makes sense to you guys. So I am not on Flock Pool. I am using the O11 data pool. Yes, I'm not saying move to that pool. If you want, move to any other pool you want. But if you start hitting blocks on a smaller pool, then you will start potentially seeing higher rewards per block because it's not divided between so many miners and so much hash rate. So keep that in mind too when looking at a pool. Don't just be like, oh, that one's going to be the best pool because it has the most amount of hash rate. It's going to find the most amount of blocks. It is finding the most amount of blocks. You're just getting a fraction of dust of that reward compared to all the miners on it. And it is not finding enough blocks to be fully profitable for the amount of miners that is on the pool. So those are other considerations you do have to look into when actually picking a mining pool and using a mining pool. We're in the top 4. Yeah, 11 did hit to the top 4. That's pretty good. It probably needs another server upgrade yet again, because as more people pile into it, then just a lot more strain. Can you try out solo mining with the RTM wallet directly? So you mean I don't know how that works, because it doesn't use any type of dedicated miner. It has like the built-in stuff, and I believe you're gonna have to have that wallet installed on every computer. So there's a lot more to that wallet mining thing, and I don't know if it's actually worth it, but you never know. I guess it's another test I could try out. I know 11 has more payouts per day versus last week. Yes, there was a vote in the Discord, and if you are unaware, the 11 data pool support system and everything is in my Discord. Link is in the description as well if you have any type of issues with it. But yeah, there was a vote in there, and they did drop the minimum payment from 100 raptoreum down to 20 raptoreum with the increase of difficulty, as well as smaller smaller miners and stuff, depending if you're only using 1 or 2 rigs, 1 rig, smaller CPU. That does give people the ability to potentially get once a day payout, or a payout every couple of days or something. There is being worked on to have manual payouts. That is just not taken in yet. It takes a bunch of coding and stuff to do that. And the mod that does run that pool, he does do this on his free time, and he is slowly working on it. So just bear with him and things will get done. I had to flash my BIOS to make my 3600 work, but it has flashback capable, so you can flash it with no CPU installed on a USB stick with the touch of a button. Yes, that is a very nice feature to have on your motherboard that you don't need. If you buy a motherboard and you find out that, oh, I need a BIOS update to get the CPU to work, and it has flashback, you do not need an older CPU to actually update your BIOS, which is a great feature. Keep in mind that's something to look for when you are picking up motherboards, CPUs and whatnot, because if you don't have that feature and you do need the BIOS update, you will not be able to unless you buy a different CPU that motherboard will actually support in order to flash it to the CPU you want to actually use. So just a whole bunch of extra steps. Did you see the iNodes announcement about some people getting their Discord account compromised and the person changing the iNodes payout address? They're delaying tomorrow's payments. I have not seen that, but I guess I better check into it. I logged into mine and I noticed everything was 100% this morning, but maybe it's not 100% anymore. Let's just take a quick look at this. What is going on here? All right, let me adjust my screen for you guys. Do we have issues yet? So here we are. Let's adjust this to RTM. Oh, Christ. Canadian, what are we doing? Canadian, we are at 5.9, not bad. 4.6. Looks like we're having a little drop. So my stats currently, collateral, let's go to RTM here. So I got 470,000 raptoreum in there. Everything looks like it's running as should. I'm waiting for a pending payout of 3,459. So hopefully by tomorrow that does hit 4,000 again. It shouldn't drop until I believe January, which is when the collateral goes up. So every 3-4 months or so, the smart node will go from originally, I think it was like 500,000 or 700,000. Then it went to 800,000 raptoreum per node. Now it's at 1,250,000 raptoreum per node. And January, it will go up to 1.5 million or something. So when those transitions happen, then your rewards kind of gets a little bit lower percentage wise. So you'll be getting a little less raptoreum per week when each upgrade happens every few months. But so far across the board, mine seems to be looking okay, I think. So I haven't been compromised yet, but I guess we'll keep an eye on this. I better check out those announcements because that's something if you are staking, you probably want to know about. Man, Gurit. Thank you for the 100, and I have no idea what that symbol is. Can we mine XRP with CPU? Any idea what will be the average for AMD Threadripper 32 core? No, XRP is a non-mineable coin. You can't mine it unless, I don't know if Unmineable supports it, which is where you would be mining, say, Ethereum with your GPU and RandomX, which is XMR with your CPU, and then it'll just pay you out in whatever coin you want. So if they support XRP, you can mine that way and get paid out. But the best thing you should just do Mine whatever's the most profitable with the hardware you have, and if that's the coin you want, just swap it over to XRP. But as a whole, you cannot mine it directly. Oh, the stream is buffering. Oh, great. Oh, great. Something must be going on. The internet is horrible. Bad stuff. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys, for whatever's going on. I don't know what's... Oh, it just popped away. We do have 143 viewers with 74 likes. Come on, guys. Smash that like button. Get that YouTube algo going. Let's hit 1,000 viewers in the next 20 minutes. That's not going to happen. I was joking. Oh, all right. Good stuff, guys. So, do we have more questions here? What should we check out? Did we look at everything I wanted to look at? You know what? Let's see if Hive OS updated yet. Refresh. Refresh. No Hive OS update. Oh, you want to know another thing I did? I made that video last night on XMRig, and this morning, actually, it wasn't even this morning. It was about an hour before the live stream was supposed to start. I didn't even turn my GPU, my 3080, back online to mine. So all night, it was offline. All day, all I did is I turned my CPU on to mine. I left my GPU idle. I was like, no, is that a thing? Did I really just do that? I had my overclocks and afterburner all set, but my 3080 was not mining all night or this morning. So that's horrible. 1K viewers, one day, Rabid. Yes, one day. One day we'll hit that. You know, might take a couple of years, but one day. Any other good CPU mineable coins? There's quite a bit. There's XHV, which is Haven, very power efficient. Potentially probably the next possible. There's Monero Ocean, which is a profit switching pool. It's a go-to pool to go to pretty much anyone, which is going to be very interesting if they do start adding the Ghostwriter algorithm for Raptoreum, because then you'll be mining Raptoreum stuff as well, and you know, being paid on XMR. So a lot of people definitely do probably like that idea. And there's Varus coin. There's a whole bunch of coins I can't think off the top of my head, but there are a bunch of other CPU mineable coins. Yes, for sure. Any plans on doing a 5900X build? Seems to be cheaper setups now compared to the 39. You know what? Let's see what's going on here. Amazon. Oh, hold on. I gotta change this so I don't KYC myself. What is going on here now? Oh my gosh. Amazon, let's check it out. I want to check something out here on Amazon. There we go. We'll go to that one right there. All right, and moving back. Boom. 3900X. What do we got? Oh, not 39. 812. Oh, really? This is getting retarded. This is $200 more than MSRP right now. Like, seriously, 812. Remember, when I was building my rigs, I was picking up the 3900X $450 to $500. That's what I was paying for the CPUs. Now they're over double than what I was paying for them when I was building my rigs. This is just dumb. So stay away from these. Don't want them anymore. You hear me? If you're a scalper out there and you're hearing this, no one's going to buy from you. Just get over it. Stop selling at these prices. 5950X. 875. Look at, oh my gosh, you serious? It's like an extra $20, $30 to get a 3950X and a 3900X. Like, do scalpers not even look at the different values in market here? I was almost doing it myself. I was looking because they said it's more expensive to build a Threadripper rig than build 2 or 3 3000 series 3900X, 3950X to compare to it. But, you know, eventually the price is going to be on par where it's going to be the same price to build a Threadripper. Then I go that route because scalpers are going to need a lot of money to buy those out, obviously, because they're expensive. And then secondhand, they'll last longer because you're going to be using less power long term than building 4 or 5 rigs. So, you know, it is cheaper to build 4 or 5 rigs to match the Threadripper. But when it comes down to it and if the scalping prices get too high, you'll be better off building the Threadripper rig and then saving on power consumption on top of it. So, you know what, if it gets to that point, it may justify, you know, me telling myself not to get a Threadripper. And that's almost what I'm kind of waiting for. But at the same time, no, I don't want that to happen. Oh, we don't even have a price here, so that's great. Oh, one thing with the 5000 series that you should know, 5900X, you will have to add a cooler on top of it, but we have 669. That is not too bad. Oh, there's none in stock. That's right. Add to wish list. No, I do not want to add it to my wish list. Oh man, we don't even have them here. Where's this one coming from? It's free shipping still. 669. Add to cart. 10 plus, please. Oh, there's only one. Great. Oh, there's two. Two right here. All right, well, who knows? We'll see what happens. But I do, in order to do this whole PBO2 test thing and everything accurately, yes, I'm going to need a 5000 series dedicated CPU rig. So, I don't know what to do. AMD, send me a 5000 series, please. Thank you. Do we have any more ads? Do we have any more super chats? What do we have going on in the chat? We got Mike Grissom. What's up at Rabid Mining? Hey, buddy, what's going on? Yashnik, smash that button, like button 3 times. Yes, if you do it 2, 4, even numbers, then ultimately we lose likes. So make sure you do smash that at an odd number. What is that name? Panalicala. 5950X is 620 on Newegg with coupon. Where do you get a coupon? I don't have any coupons. After the live stream, I'm going to go on PC Part Picker. I'm going to see what's going on with prices everywhere and see if I could justify a 5000 series, rig somewhere. Potentially, because I do need 2 more. I need 2 more to fill up to get the complete 12. So I do have 2 spots left on my shelf for 2 dedicated rigs. I just got to figure out what I want to put there. Do I want to put 2 big, jacked up 3990X thread rippers, 64 core, 128 thread machine monsters? I wish. So I'm not going to do that. It's too expensive. But, maybe, a 5000 series something might work. How do you turn off 3900X fans RGB? It's on by default. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to figure out how I can get my last fan, which is stuck on one color that I bought used, on the cycle between them, and I don't know what's going on there. I can't do it. What's that? I just built a TR rig instead of a few 5900s for density and power efficiency. Oh, see? Chancoin already did that. He did that. Oh man, I want to do that. I can't afford that. It is time to jump to Monero. Not yet, not quite. But maybe, I'm not saying XMR in general, but potentially Monero Ocean, which will, if they add the Ghostwriter algorithm, it'll make getting paid out in XMR very, very profitable, because you'll be getting paid out like you would be in Raptoreum. But one thing to keep in mind, the difference between that and Raptoreum, like I said at the beginning of the stream, Raptoreum is still in its early spec mining stage. So what does that mean? It means in the future, we are hoping for that price to ultimately, go 5 times, 10 times, 100 times. Who knows what it could do? We want it to moon. And that way we could potentially hit, a nice, a little bit of bank later on in the future. But if you end up doing that to XMR, then you may not actually see that. Some people are predicting, because with everything that's going on and stuff in the world, that, XMR might be a good thing and it'll pump really high. But we don't know if that's going to happen. It goes up a little bit. I think last bear run, it maxed out around 500 Canadian. Now it's sitting around 3 something. But it could go up. But it is a nice stable coin. I ROI'd my very first, my gaming PC, the CPU, by mining on Monero Ocean, mining XMR, and that's how I literally paid off my first gaming machine, which led to building more and more rigs. It was all through XMR. And then now we got all this other coins, coming into the light. Mangarit, AMD Threadripper, 3970X, 32 core. I have this one already. Should I update mining with new software for RTM? It's hard to update GPU nowadays. Thanks. Hey, that's this equivalent to, I believe, 2 3950Xs or 2 5950Xs. So I do not know what settings to actually use on that one, because I don't have one myself. But yes, that is a great CPU ultimately. Like, it's like having 2 3950X rigs rolling out. So my rig 7 and 8, that thing should be performing on par as my 2 3950X rigs. And as for the software to use, I don't really know yet. I try XMRig for real. You got a 1% dev fee instead of 1.75. Unless you're on Flockpool, then it's 1.5. But still, it's only 1% dev fee. So use XMRig. Try it out. If you don't like it, try GPU, the GR version of the CPU Miner Opt. But if I had the Threadripper, obviously I'd have to try both out to see how they perform against each other. But test them both out. I can't really recommend what you should use on that, because I haven't tested it myself. But in theory, it is the same as 2 3950Xs or 5950Xs. Still it's free and HiveOS is not. Is there any remote controls for rigs for free? I have no idea if there's a remote control for a rig or not, but that'd be pretty sweet if there was, like a Bluetooth thing or something. But HiveOS, yes, it's not free, but if you only have a dedicated CPU mining rig, you're only paying 30 cents per month. So that's very, very cheap, especially to be able to run it from anywhere in the world, even from your cell phone. If you go to the grocery store, you can check on your rigs. It's that easy. I do all the time. Standing until, waiting to pay for my groceries, and better check on my rigs. Yep, looking good. XRP is a banker's coin. Very true. Well, that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to transfer, across the world for very, very cheap and very, very fast. Because they say there was a few years back when they're talking about, but they're saying like the fastest way to get, money to someone across the world is to literally throw it on a plane and fly it there. But we got wire transfers and whatnot now, but it does take a while to get there. So that's almost what the whole XRP thing was originally designed to do. What they're doing now, I have no idea. Haven't really kept track on it, but yes, it is totally for the bankers type of thing. You are 10 minutes back. Ignore my comments. Oh no, that's all right. I don't even know what you said. Did I answer something back then? Do we have a massive delay in the live stream? Let me know, because I am not sure if there's a massive delay or not. 131 viewers, 99 likes. Keep on smashing that like. Do we have any more questions? Is there anything we should check out right now? What's a GPU mining profitability right now? Anyway, 83070s. What are you looking like? 83070s is kicking at $32. That's not too bad. Just slightly over. Is that? Let's go to 1. That'll make it a little easier to calculate. We'll go to 1 rig. $4. Not too bad. So GPU mining, obviously extremely profitable. Now what's going to happen when the merge? Hard to say. I really do think temporarily, or even long-term, long time, is CPU mining could potentially, unless all the GPU mineable coins see a massive spike in price, and I mean they're going to need quite a bit. CPU mining could potentially be more profitable than GPU mining by the end of next year. That could be a very good thing. It could happen. I'm on the fence about sticking my RTMs on nodes as they are transferring without warranties. That is a very thing too, because your crypto's not there. It's another thing, but it is also a backup chain. Other coins have done this same type of mentality. Like other coins previously, even from 2017, whatnot, have used smart nodes as a backup chain. And it does help kind of with decentralization. It also helps, with backup security to prevent those 51% attacks. Although just started using XM rig, but for some reason always connect to the donate XM rig pool. I edited the bat file, but nothing is helping right now. Are you in Discord? Be sure to join the Discord, send screenshots and whatnot in the CPU mining channel or something, and we can definitely have a look at that for you. I can't say right off the get-go what's going on unless I actually see it. But for the most part, yeah, as long as your pool address is in, depending on the pool you're using, your worker name is correct, you shouldn't really be having any issues. So there's something small going on in the background there that you don't have set up right. Hearing a lot about Turtle Coin. Can you have a look? I've been hearing about Turtle Coin a lot about the same time people were telling me about Raptoreum, which was quite a while ago. So I don't really know, but I did look into it. It is older post, so I don't know what's going on now. But it is CPU mineable, it's GPU mineable, and it's also FPGA mineable, which means all those other GPUs and FPGAs have a big advantage over CPUs. So is it worth it? I don't really know, but it is something that is on my list to check into. But we've been pretty busy. This Raptoreum thing really takes a lot of time to get all the tests out. Did 011 change minimum payment? Hello, Raheem. Yes, they did. They dropped it to 20. There was a vote there a few days back because of smaller miners and stuff. So they wanted to, and the difficulty increase on the network, you're getting less coins. So a lot of people wanted a little drop there, but there is being a work on for manual payments to set your own to whatever you want. That's just not in effect yet. You still using 011 data? Yes, for sure. I've been using 011 data since it first opened up, and I haven't moved since. I really enjoy it. I seem to be making more than everyone else out there because everyone else seems to be on Flock Pool and wondering why I make more. So that's my answer. I'm not on that Flock Pool. It's just that easy, honestly. Some idea why my 3070 no LHR rig ×6 are crashing and need a restart. G miner, Avis, CC, 22, ma'am. So the complete rig is just crashing, non-LHR. Temperatures and everything seem good? CPU 5900X. Oh, so is it? Let me just double check this. Are you in Windows or are you in Hive OS? So I'm assuming you're mining with your CPU, so it could be an issue while CPU mining, because the GPUs seem like they should be fairly stable at those settings. So yeah, I'm maybe free up a thread or two, or potentially give that CPU, you know, a little extra 0.05 of a, you know, voltage or something in there. Just give it a little bump. It may need it. Nobody is switching off the big pool for Raptoreum. This is going to hurt the growth. Yeah, for sure. A lot of people don't know that. When I did post that video, there was a whole bunch of arguments out there, which they make sense if you don't know what you're talking about, if that made sense. So it's people that sound like they're new, but you know, it's all like, oh, I prefer the UI. A lot of people do. They do care about a nice UI, everything, a nice flowing working thing. But in the end, all I really care about is how much Raptoreum I make, and I make more when I'm not there. So that's the bottom line. Is O11 data on a European server planning? I heard that it potentially may be, but I don't know what's coming of it. I'll ask again to see what's going on with that, because there are a lot of European people that are mining Raptoreum, it seems. And it also seems like that may be where Flockpool is getting most of its hash rate as well, is from the European side of the world. So I don't know. Well, I'll have another look. I'll ask and find out what the latest update is on that. So I don't really know when it will be or if it will be, but there were rumors of, yes, it'll be getting one. Man, Gurjeet, did I butcher that? But welcome to the Wolfpack. Welcome for becoming a loyal member to the channel. Much appreciated. Again, much love to all you guys, because without you guys, I wouldn't be here. So this is really great. You guys show so much support for the channel and the other community members as well. Everyone always just helping everyone out, which is very, very great. Which Intel processors are good for RTM? AMD prices are spiking like anything. Yeah, AMD prices are going up like crazy. As for Intel, I don't really know. When it comes to like decent CPU and stuff, like those PHIs, those Pis, I don't even know how you say them, but Matt Electron Engineer, and he mines on some of those. The Exxon server grade CPUs are great, but when it comes to Raptoreum, the Intels blow them away. But when it goes to like Virus Coin and Monero and other coins, AMD still wins, but Virus Coin, actually the Intels are kind of pulling away on that one, I think. But on average, Intels are pretty good on the other coins to mine. It's just that Raptoreum, it doesn't. Raptoreum and Haven are the big setbacks for Intel CPUs because they lack the L3 cache. And that's what Raptoreum, which uses 2 megabytes of L3 cache per thread of the CPU, is the minimum that it needs. And Haven actually requires 4 megabytes. So those two coins are very, not very profitable when it comes to Intel. But as for the other coins, Intels actually do pretty good. Gamers1, I joined the Discord, but the welcome channel is blank and I don't have access to anything on the server. So you should get a DM of a CAPTCHA to fill out. There should be a CAPTCHA there that allows you access to get in. It's to prevent, you know, spam and stuff. So keep that in mind. And if you leave and rejoin and it's still not finding it anywhere, then be sure to just send me a DM and I can look into it and possibly bypass you. And that way, you know, if you're talking to someone and we know someone seems legit, then I can bypass you in. Looks like the XMRig miner has more stable hash rate compared to the CPU. Yeah, well, remember, like I said, XMRig, it's the go-to dedicated CPU mining miner for years now. So I kind of mentioned it earlier. XMRig to CPUs is like what T-Rex is to NVIDIA GPUs. It's like what Team Red Miner is for AMD GPUs. It is the go-to miner that is just built well and perfected for CPUs. So ultimately, yes, if XMRig supports something, then use it. So yeah, I would highly recommend people. So I am not noticing any hash rate differences, fluctuations, or loss of performance using XMRig over the CPU miner OpGR. So I would recommend everyone to swap over to XMRig to use it. People are saying some interesting comments, which is true. Originally, remember, Raptoreum didn't really have a miner. So they did release Delon did release that CPU miner GR. It was only like a 1.5% dev fee. It worked great. Everyone was using it. Then things kind of got out of control. People are saying, you know, it's getting a bit greedy and whatnot. he did up the dev fee to 1.75. On top of that, as of 1.2, that was when he upped the dev fee, but he also made Flockpool, which automatically swung people to Flockpool and decreased the dev fee from the miner just a little bit to 1.5 now from 1.75 if you mine on Flockpool. Now with XMRig dropping and it's not defaulted to that pool, as well as showing the same performance, no full tune, and a less % dev fee, then I highly recommend to use XMRig. What I could see happening in the future is GPU miner, GPU opt, a GR is probably going to see another update coming out, and it's probably going to lower that dev fee, I'm guessing. But you're still going to have that full tune function, the benchmarking function, which are good functions. But again, it is not a well standard miner like XMRig is for CPUs today. So again, I still think XMRig is going to be the better go-to miner long term and everything. Will you be getting Zen 3 refresh CPUs on launch day? I don't know. I was really thinking about it. Depends if I have any money. I don't have that much money, guys. I can't just go and buy all these things, or I'd have like a Threadripper to test and all that stuff, but I can't afford it. I would love to. The Zen 3 refresh is supposed to have a little more L3 cache, and I really think it will benefit Haven the most. It could turn Haven XHV, and people were messaging me when I started my 3-way test, don't bring too much hash rate to Haven because it's nice where it's at, which is true. But I do want to say the Zen 3 could probably make Haven the most profitable coin on the new refresh CPUs. And why do I say that? That's because it's adding a little more cache to the chip. So you're going to have more cache per thread on there. So example, Haven right now at 4 megabytes per thread, a 3900X, 3950X, 5900X, and a 5950X, they're only using 16 threads because they do not have enough L3 cache. Even though they have 64 megabytes, which is a lot, they don't have enough to utilize all the threads on Haven. And Haven is very profitable and matching up to Raptoreum, especially when you're using like Monero Ocean or something. But now if you unlock more L3 cache on that chip, which means using more threads with that CPU on Haven, Haven could start becoming more profitable. And again, it depends on the difficulty and the price of Raptoreum at the time. That's one thing I do see happening, which I really would like to test with the new refresh coming out. But again, that's all in theory and what I'm just kind of seeing based on specs of the CPU itself. But when it comes to, or I should have left in there too, when it comes to mining Raven, Raptoreum, and the other coins, I think the refresh version is probably going to perform the same as the 3 and 5000 CPUs because it's already maximizing those threads out. Is there a tuning option for XMRig to sneak out more performance? As of right now, no, there's not. But I imagine, if he starts tweaking it more and more and whatnot for Raptoreum and the Ghostwriter algorithm, then we could potentially start seeing some spikes and increase there. But for now, there is no type of rigging. You pretty much just set it up and start mining. No need to tune it. There is no tune, and you don't have any 4-hour downtime if you change settings or something or whatever else you got to do when it comes to tuning with the GPU miner GR. All the Raptoreum pools look the same, a bit odd. Yeah, it's because Raptoreum is fairly new and stuff, and the background, the code is all basically the same. So they're all running off the same type of engines. So there aren't really any multiple engines and stuff that's running. So all the pools do. That's why most of them do look the same. As they're all pretty much off the same type of code. But again, I'm not a pool. I don't know how all that backend stuff works. So I don't know. It's just kind of some rumors that I hear here and there. Did I miss any chats or super chats? Okay, it doesn't look like I missed any other people. I'm going to scroll up just to make sure. All right. We welcomed Gurjit. So I'm up to date on all that. Good. Haven network hash rate doubled in the last 2 weeks. Oh, great. Sorry, Haven. It was an accident, I swear. I'm just kidding. I didn't start talking about it till not even a week ago, so it's not my fault. Does the dev of CPU miner GR make his fees during the tuning? I am not sure. I would say no. I hope not, because then that would actually hinder potentially your benchmark in general. But I don't think it does. I think it's only while it's mining that it'll mine to the actual pool to collect its fees. Will the XM rig work for Hive OS? Not yet. It is not updated yet. I am waiting for it. I imagine Hive OS will update today or tomorrow. hopefully soon, and that way I can start testing. So I'm gonna click this. Any update yet? Come on, Rick. No, still no update. I'm waiting for that update to come, and it's not here. But yeah, it will work for HiveOS once HiveOS does update it, and then obviously I'll be dropping that video. I can do a lot better tests in HiveOS because of it, because I can compare all my hash rates that's happening at the exact same time across my rigs with the CPU Miner GR. Raptoreum suddenly didn't work after the second day. Second day of what? Like, honest, did you just mine it and it just quit working? 32 core epics. Oh my gosh, now we're talking about epics. Don't even get me started on those. Those things are another dream CPU that I want. Very. Motherboard is at $600 on eBay now. Not bad deal, but reg ECC RAM is not cheap. Oh yeah, for sure. CryptoFlan, now that you say about the Intel CPUs, what would you recommend to mine then? For Intel CPUs, I'm mining with the i5 and i7. I'm getting about 1.5 hashes per second at peak. Is that good for Intel? That's probably about what Intel is getting, I'm assuming. I don't have much experience overclocking, or I've never mined with an Intel CPU, honestly, so I'm not really sure. But you could try Viruscoin. Viruscoin is pretty good for Intel CPUs. You could try XMR, although AMD does really outperform there as well. Or, like I said, Raptoreum is spec mining, so get those few coins in. What if Raptoreum hits $1 or $10? You know, every coin is going to be worth $1, so not bad. But who knows? Who knows what could happen in the future? Will it get that high? I have no idea. Do I hope it gets that high? For sure. Little pause delay there. 146 viewers, and I cannot see the likes. But if we have any other questions, anything going on, any super chats, any type of channel support questions, anything you guys want, just shoot them out. I don't think I have anything to really go through right now. Dave Collins, yeah, USA. What? What's USA? What's happening on USA? Will XM rig work? Okay, we went through that. I am all caught up. Nobody's asking questions anymore, or I'm just really delayed. I don't know. One of each. Okay, what do I want to check out? Is there a way to see the average hash rate on XM rig instead of just the 1060-15? No, there is no average hash rate on there. Just those are the only ones they show. When using XM rig, because there's no benchmark function, you will have to just go off the pool and see what you're actually rolling with. My opinion, the fees issue is not really existing problem for most of us. I mean, we are talking small percentages, while most of our configs themselves are not that optimized anyway. True, Otana, that is very true, but an interesting number. I know, you guys ever think about it? You guys ever use, like, say, a tracking app to see how much you spend in a month or something? You know, you go to Tim Hortons, you know, I only get a coffee every day. I only get 1 or 2 coffees, or, you know, a donut here and there, or depending where you go, your local shop. And you hit the end of the month, you're like, wow, that's quite a bit. So someone was actually in Discord talking about the CPU Miner GR and at it. And with that dev fee of 1.75, we think, oh, it's just a little dev fee. It's going in there. But at the current price of Raptoreum, when it was around 6 cents USD, someone pointed out that the dev of the miner, because that's the only miner out there, and based on all the people working on it, he's making about $40,000 per month off the dev fee. Keep that in mind when you're saying it's just a little amount. It's actually a lot. When every miner is only using that one miner, that's a lot of money coming out of there. Plus, you got to add flock pool fees on top of that as well. So it is quite a bit. That little bit adds up a lot. So remember that. So why did you have to add even a higher dev fee? I have no idea. Being the only miner plus increasing it, just getting greedy. I hope everybody honestly moves to XM rig because of it. That's the honest truth. Anyway, so are you going to update your staking video on iNodes since they now have a new user interface and the process described in your video isn't no longer up to date? Tom Gerten, which one are you referring to? Because as of their beta app with your onboarding address and everything, I do have a video with that one. So maybe you missed it, or maybe they changed something that I'm not aware of in the last couple of weeks. But I'm pretty sure I do have an updated video still on that. It's unlike the original. My very first original iNodes one was on where you had to, send a message to them on Discord, send it to the address, get your transaction fee and everything, or your transaction record, and keep all that tracked. Is that the one you're referring to? Because there is an updated version ever since they did release the smart app there where you can do whatever you want on the dashboard itself. So I believe I do have an updated one to the one you are referring to, but I could be wrong. Does Raptoreum support solo mining? Yes, you can mine Raptoreum solo. A lot of people have been asking about that. I did test it for a week and hit 0 blocks, which means I did not mine any Raptoreum for 7 days. It was a sad, sad time. Rig 5 definitely did not like it. But yes, you can mine solo. It's all up to your discretion. It's all in luck, whether you want to test it or not. People are asking about it, so I am going to be, maybe Monday or something, I'll release a video on how to mine Raptoreum solo for you guys. It seems to be a much talked about type of thing. Even with the discount, flock pool plus miner dev fee earns plus 75% more. Oh, okay, wait, hold on. Even with the, what's Steven talking about here? Even with the discount, flock pool plus miner dev earns plus 75% more. What are we talking about? 75% more what? Oh, yeah. Even with the discount on that miner, yes, it's still more expensive to use that with the discounted flock pool on flock pool. It'll be cheaper mining the flock pool with XM rig at 1% than it is even using their own miner, which drops it, which is why I'm going to say there's probably going to be an update to the miner to drop the dev fee to be on par, probably at least in the future, which is going to be very interesting because I already told you it's going to happen. Just give it a couple days or a week. It's going to happen. He's going to drop it to compete with XM rig, but in the end, XM rig is the dominant miner, and it's just going to be the go-to for people that mine with their CPU in general. Okay, where was I now? True, it is quite a bit, but on the other side, effort is also not free. We'll try to compile XM rig and CPU miner up to see if it's actually hard to remove the fee. To Otana, there's some people in Discord of mine that actually tried to do that, and other people have ultimately done it. There is another miner out there that actually increases the dev fee to another guy that he forked to 15%. So obviously no one's using that. And then there's some other people who did try to drop the fee. They changed it so you could drop the fee down to whatever through that. It's still being worked out and being compiled, so it's not widely known yet. If it is something you guys would like to do, I will make a video on it once it's ready, but it's not ready yet. But keep in mind, people that try to change it, there's something hidden in the background there from how I gather it, is it doesn't let you do it, and if it looks like it did, it almost increases the original fee and you don't even notice it. So there's a lot of tricky stuff going on in the background there, but there is a miner of the GR version that's supposed to be dropping that you can drop the dev fee even down to 0% if you want. But again, if you want to use a miner, I do recommend at least a 0.5%, because like you said, it will go the original miner as well as the person that compiled it, small percentages, but you can drop it down to 0% if you really want with the GR version. I will keep you guys updated on that once I hear more. Solo video would be great. Yeah, no problem. Can you solo mine Raptoreum with XM rig? You can if the pool supports solo mine, yeah, you should be able to solo mine it with any miner you want. That is another interesting question though, so I will look into that when I do how to solo mine Raptoreum, and I guess I'll have to do it up for 2 different miners now to see if actually XM rig does work with that. I tried other pools, didn't get a payout at the same rate. Craig Davis, yes, that's one thing you have to realize the difference between flock pool and other pools is flock pool, because it hits so many blocks that you will start to see your payouts come in. Like you will see your payments sooner and earlier, and it'll slowly build up really slow, but you'll start seeing them faster, right? But on a smaller pool, what happens is you're getting a lot more of that fraction of the block for a payout than you are. So say you're on a pool that's mining, so we'll say flock pool's hitting 200 blocks a day, right? And you're seeing like, a 0.5% of that block because it's so big. You're seeing like maybe 20, that's a lot. Say you're seeing 2 Raptoreum per block out of a 3,750 block. 2 Raptoreum, they hit 200 blocks, you're hitting, you're at whatever, 200, 4,000 Raptoreum, that's way too much. But this is just a quick example. Then you're on a smaller pool and you hit a block, but instead of 2 Raptoreum in that block, you get like say 40 Raptoreum out of that block. So now you'll get a quick 40 chunk instead of a 2 Raptoreum. And now you only hit like say 10 blocks on the smaller pool, but you hit 200 blocks on the flock pool in the day, that smaller pool ends up actually paying you out more throughout the 24-hour period, because even though you only hit 10 blocks, you're getting a lot bigger chunk, and it works out to be more profitable. In the end, again, like if you mine them up, both pools for a year, they should work out in percentage wise to be the same. Long term, everything works out to be fairly even. Short term is where you can see higher and lower gains depending on a smaller and depending on luck based and a larger and smaller pool. I get payouts every 12 hours or so, 140. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't added mine up yet too much yet, but I did notice, like, I do mining on a smaller pool. I just do long term, and I only do it weekly when I do my profit testing videos, but I do end up getting more, and people are wondering how am I getting so much more with the rigs I have, and they compare it to their rigs. And the answer is simple, that I just don't use flock pool. Where does weekly interest from smart nodes come from? It comes after every block. So the mining reward block is 3,750 or something, but I believe the full block is like 4,000 or 5,000 raptoreum. No, that's Ravencoin, but it's a little more. I can't remember the precise number, 4,500 or something maybe. So every time a block is found, it does go towards a smart node as well. So there's like 1,000 raptoreum every block that is mined. Doesn't matter what pool, solo, anything. The mining reward 3,750, like 3,750, and then 1,000 goes to a node. Every single block that's mined. So everyone that has their collateral in there, because the nodes, they're getting some raptoreum too, because they're the backup security. If there's a 51% attack happening on the miner side, the smart nodes kick in and they can validate transactions so that, you know, that attack isn't going to happen. They'll just say, nope, not happening, no attack here. Smart nodes continue the chain, no issues happening at all. So they are also getting a feed cut out of every block that is mined and stuff as well. So that's where all their raptoreum gains come from. And that's why also when they get bigger, the percentage will drop just a little bit, because now each node has more and more collateral and people on it as they grow, so their percentage will drop just a little bit. Hopefully that answers that. 011 data minimum is 1,000 RTM. You should always tune every CPU, because silicon lottery, every CPU is a little different. Yeah, for sure. Every CPU is different. You never know. You could have one that could take 1 extra volt, you know, to hit the same hash rate or setting or something. Every silicon lottery and voltage, and just like a snowflake. You see tons of snowflakes out there, but every single one is unique. How secure smart nodes are? I'm not really sure. No one's really put them to the test yet, but they're a validator. For example, how secure is a node? Well, let's just put it this way. Ethereum 2.0, they're betting their whole network on nodes. That is pretty much the same thing. You're staking onto the node. That is what's validating their thing. Ethereum 2.0, the whole network is going to be off of mining and moved onto a node. Everything's going to be validated through sharding and those nodes, which is kind of, in theory, what's going on with Raptoreum. It's different. It's not the same, but it's kind of close to the same. But you have 2 chains. You got your node chain and your mining chain, and they both validate each other. So keep that in mind. So I guess they're pretty secure if, Vitalik thinks that's the way Ethereum should roll. So why not have a database of CPUs, full tune files, instead of so many people wasting CPU on tunes? I believe there's somewhere where you can just download tune files, or you can use it. And I think it comes with average base tunes. At least the version, actually 1.1.9 and earlier, all came with different tunes for certain CPUs based on averages on other people's tunes. As of 1.2, which is when the dev fee and everything went up, that is when it went to the JSON configs setup and no longer a binary setup. So you did not have those tunes and stuff anymore. You're referring, well, it's the same thing. It's all shared. You're putting collateral. I guess the Ethereum 2.0 is all your own node based on 32F, but a shared smart node is pretty much the exact same thing, except it's just a collaboration of different addresses going into the smart node. In the end, how safe they are will come up to whether the node validator is legit or not. So he could literally shut down his node, take everything, I guess, if he wanted, but is that how it's going to be? So in the end, it's pretty much comes down to, is the host that you're using for the smart node trustworthy, is how I guess I can put it. Congrats to 20k subs. Thanks for your help. Hey, thank you Fundwiser for the $20 Canadian donation. Much appreciated. That will have to go to the Threadripper Rabid Mining Fund. The Threadripper Fund. Anybody else you don't want to throw into the Threadripper Fund? Oh man. Okay, so my throat is drying up, but that's okay. We're here to help. I'm here to help you guys. So this is what it's all about. Someone with several CPUs of the same type should then compare the file content plus compare the file from several tunes of full tunes to see if the files are always the same on the exact same CPUs. To Atona, I actually did that. I have 2 configs. I wonder if I can actually pop that up. Now, they're 2 different settings. Do you know, I noticed I did that video. You don't really have to fully tune anymore to look at everything. So I'm going to actually bring up my 2 tune configs. One is 3.8 and one is 3.6. So obviously it's not hundreds of ones to go together, but I got to find out where is everything now. Miners, CPU, raptoreum. I need, what is it? This one, 1.2.3, benchmark, binaries, tune config. Oh, don't tell me I deleted it. Oh, I think I messed it up, so I deleted it and all right, 1.2 maybe? Oh, here we go, tunes. So here I have 2 tune configs. So I'm going to edit this one. Bam. And now I'm going to edit number 3. Bam. Here's the difference between them. Let's zoom in here and you can kind of see this is 3.6 to 3.8. Let me zoom in my screen so you guys can see the 2 tune config differences. For the most part, they are the same, but there are odd differences. So here you can see rotation 0, 0, 2, 2, 0, 0, 0, 0. And this one, well, right here you can see this is a 1. This one is 0. Same thing here. This is a 1. That one's a 0. And then we got, looks like the same. There's a 1 here, and let's see here. Oh, my eyes are all going crazy with this white on white. But here's some quick examples. You guys kind of get the idea where I'm going at here. Is they are slightly different, and some of them are the same. This is 3.6. 3.6, no XMP profile on versus 3.8 with XMP profiled on a 5950X full tune. So these are 2 full tunes. You can see they are very close, but some of them are slightly different. Look at this line right here. This is a 2. Oops. And right here we got a 1. So these are the small little setups that are there. They're fairly close, and in the end it resulted in not really losing any performance where it doesn't make it worthwhile. Oh, I shut that right off. It doesn't make it worthwhile to do a 4-hour full tune, you know, every time you change something. You know, if you finally find a setting you like, maybe a nice hash to watt ratio or something, and then you want to utilize that and you're sure, you know, this is what I'm good on, then maybe a full tune may give you a slight boost across all your rigs, which would work out long term in the end. But now we're not even talking about that anymore, because I think it's probably just best to start using XM rig. You don't even have to tune at all. Okay, all my tunes for 3600S are different, even though the RAM settings are the same. I suppose sub timings could be different. Yeah, something definitely. Pearl Rivia, this is critical. What's going on? Pearl, did you say something I missed earlier? Or are you referring to my tunes I just showed? Don Talon, which Threadripper motherboard are you looking? Which Threadripper and motherboard am I looking for? Well, you know, in a perfect world, I would love a 3990X. Like, who wouldn't? What is that? 64 core, 128 threads, 250 some or whatever the L3 catches, which would support 2 megabytes per thread on full 128 threads. That thing would maximize up to like 4 or 5 3950X rigs is what it would match to. I think 4. So yeah, that would be the dream CPU to test out. But when it comes to Threadripper, I guess anything 3970X plus would be a good way to route. Would be a good way to go. No problem on the file comparison. Good thing you brought that up, because I totally forgot I had that hiding in the background. Noticing since last few days, Xpool X has an average hash rate of 200 kilohash, but gets more blocks than 400 to 500 kilohash pools. Yeah, that's the very thing. That's the difference between small pools, luck-based, solo mining, not solo mining. Large pools, small pools, like it's all based on luck as well. So if a smaller pool hammers out a whole bunch of blocks one day, it is going to be a very extremely profitable pool. I think the perfect pool with the current hash rate, if Flexpool literally dropped down to 40-45% hash rate. I'm not just saying this to get it under 50%. I'm saying a pool, any pool in general, if it was at 40 to 45% right now, hash rate, network hash rate, it would probably become the most profitable pool just based on the hash to watt ratio of blocks and everything. I think that would be the, you know, the number one best number to get right now at the current network standings. It seems XM is the way to go because you get the same hash rate and no tuning. Yeah, for sure. That's because XM Rig knows about CPUs. XM Rig has been around a long time. It's the same thing with T-Rex, and it gets little tweaks all the time. XM Rig will continue getting little tweaks all the time. It is the go-to miner for a CPU. It doesn't even matter, Intel, AMD, whatever. If you mine the CPU, you'll probably have used XM Rig previously in the past. Now that it opened up raptoreum mining for a Ghostwriter algorithm, that's a whole new ball game. I've said this multiple times throughout the stream. There may be new people here. Comparing XM Rig on CPUs is like saying T-Rex miner on NVIDIA GPUs. You know, Team Red miner on AMDs. That's the level of a miner that XM Rig is on CPUs. Do you need to copy your tune file over to run raptoreum? No, there's no tune file or anything on XM Rig. You put in your wallet address, you put in the pool you want to use, you tell it to start mining, and it's going to begin mining. No tuning, nothing necessary. It just starts mining for you. Did you solo mine any blocks successfully on RTM? No, I have never hit a RTM block. I failed miserably. Your videos are the best. I really appreciate it. Hey, Xfield Brands, much appreciated. Don't worry, I'm glad you enjoy the videos, and you know, I try to put better and better videos together for you guys, and you guys are what makes the community. So if you guys aren't happy, then obviously the channel is not very happy. Not your biz, Kevin Clark. No tune for XM Rig. That is correct. He answered that question for you. Xfield Res, could you make a tutorial how to fix O11 data stratum authentication failed, or tell me where to find it? Okay, let's have a look here. Where are my rigs? Raptoreum right here. Edit. Boom. So here we are looking at my config. Well, I'm going to change my screen to kind of show you, because I'm assuming this is what your issue is. All right, so in my config right here, you can see my worker name. Well, first you got your stratum and everything right. But when we go to our worker name, now if you have any, it has to be letters and numbers only, nothing else. If I went Rabid Mining space WS for workstation, that would give me the error because you can't have spaces. If I went Rabid Mining workstation /1, you know, if I had two workstations, that would not work because I have that slash right there. It can only be numbers and letters all together like this. So I can put in a rig name of, like, you know, all this stuff like this, like crazy. It'll work, no problem. That'll be a good rig name. But I will not be able to go the space best, you know, dash rig or something there. So like this would not work. There's a space in there, that won't work. This slash or this dash here will not work. Slashes won't work. Everything has to be numbers and letters and one word together like so. So I can go like this just fine. That rig name will work and you shouldn't have any errors. So I'm assuming this is what your error is. This is the biggest error that a lot of people do have when mining on that pool. And this is the fix. It's all you have to do is change your rig name. Hopefully that helped. And boom. All right, now I can see everyone's chat again. Did that, went through that. Can you make a tutorial? Love the videos and appreciate you. Keep up the good work. Kevin Clark, thank you very much. Why don't you want an Epic system instead of Threadripper? Epic is much more energy efficient. Oh, don't even get me started on the Epic. I would love an Epic for sure, 100%. They're even better than the Threadrippers. You are right. They're more efficient. They got more cores. They got more threads. They would outperform the Threadripper, but they're like $30,000 for just a CPU. It's insane. So no, I definitely can't afford that. I'm getting an error launching the wallet. Microsoft VC++ runtime insertion file failed. Did you have an exception you may have accidentally missed when you first initially opened that file? That could be an issue for you, or you may have to update your Windows. It could be require a Windows update as well that has that visual inside of it. Not your biz. What we got here? Retracted, reduced power. On my test, there are no difference on submitting shares comparing 3.81 volt and 3.60.95 volt. Nice. Yeah, that's another thing you got to look at. Shares submitting. I haven't even opened up that can of worms when it comes to it. But I really do want, once I get everything settled out, I want to really overclock a CPU fairly high and run that versus a nice efficient setting. Because previously, when I did do this test, when the Raptoreum network was only down to like 5 mega hash, I ran one rig for 24 hours and at 4.2 something. It was averaging like 4 point some kilohash. It only mined 10 extra Raptoreum. It got like 1,780 coins in the 24-hour period. Then it ran efficiently for half the power consumption, and it only mined, it was like 17,010 coins. So it was only like 20 or 30 coins less than the fully tuned one, like optimized right out there. So when it comes to Raptoreum mining, I really don't think it's worth super overclocking this, trying to pump out that performance. But again, I won't know till I fully put that test to test head to head, which I am going to do sometime here in the future. I just got so many tests going on right now that it's crazy, but that is one of my tests I do plan on actually looking at to see which one mines more, in a week or something. And how much more? Is it going to make it worth it? Is it going to make it worth that power price? Remember, average on a 3900X efficiently, about 97 watts. It hits a high of about 118. Average on pumping it out, I can hit up to 200 watts fully pumping out high hash rate on a 3900X. It's probably not worth it. Oh, okay, where are we at here for questions? Crazy. Hello, people. You are awesome. I hope if you read this message, you're okay. Claudia Santos, welcome. Hopefully everyone saw that and had a little smile or something. We are being paid for the shares, not for the hash rate. Very true. We are being paid for those shares. It's all about the shares. You submit those shares, not the hash rate. That's why Phoenix Miner, the recently released Team Black Miner, is in high speculation because they report higher hash rates. But in return, potentially you are not sending the shares to the hash rate it's actually doing, which sucks in a lot of newer miners that have no idea what's really going on in the background of things. With the vast quantity of RTMs you already have, isn't it better you to look for other low difficulty coins to mine and make additional RTM by staking only? What is a good strategy? To Atona, you're very right. That is true. So once I'm done these tests, I am going to be running obviously Raptoreum on all my rigs again throughout the week. I'm going to see. And then if I actually do hit a level where the node payouts are the same as my 1 week mining profits or even more, then, I may just keep that staking, move my rigs over to something else, and then, try to find that next best coin. Maybe that's definitely a very valid strategy. At the same time, you're not stocking up on previous coins to keep adding to your nodes, which add up more and more slowly as they go. So there are different mining strategies. Again, I'm hoping for Raptoreum to hit a nice, price peak or something in the future, which is why obviously I'm mining Raptoreum, and a lot of you guys probably are too, because I believe it could potentially do something in the future in terms of price and whatnot. Rabid has a test to test his test to see how they test. Exactly. That is pretty much what it feels like I'm going on here. I have a test to make sure a test is doing. It's like doing math or something. You add things up, but you got to subtract it to make sure it adds up right. Like, you got to check your work. So exactly what's going on here. I have a test to test to make sure I have a test that's making sure the test is actually testing the test rate. And then in the end, now we got XM rig added onto all this test stuff. So yeah, it's just getting pretty crazy. Oh, I'm gonna need a team pretty soon. I'm gonna have to turn in the Linus here and be like, hey, I need a testing team. How can that be? And I mean, you should have a lower hash rate, right? Do you expect price up or down? I'm speculating to invest. I don't know. We're in spec mining phase, so I'm hoping 2 or 3 years, Raptoreum hits a nice decent price jump to hit a potential gain. Probably the next bull run after the next BTC halving, we're gonna see some crazy things happen in terms of price. So that's what, another 3-4 years away. But yeah, we could see some crazy stuff happening then. As for right now, short-term game, obviously, nothing's really gonna happen. And in the next, I don't really want to say it, but there's a lot of people that have been kind of hinting on it, anywhere from next month, which is December, you know, end of December to 5 or 6 months after that, we could potentially be running into the next crypto winter. Like it's charts and everything. I'm not really a chart guy, but watching other people who are chart guys, they see it coming. They're trying to tell people, you know, it's potentially coming. And, you know, as much as people say, you know, it's not the same, it's not going to happen, it's crypto, it's going to happen, it's just a matter of time. And I think it's going to happen sometime here soon, but the bull run after that will also probably be having the Bitcoin halving in there and everything else. I believe the bull run after that, we're going to see some crazy things happen. So that's what I'm shooting for that time. Also next year, middle of next year, Raptoreum is adding smart contracts, which is just another boost for whenever this does happen in a few years by now to go crazy. But that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting a couple 4 or 5 years from now is when hopefully, you know, some crazy stuff could happen. So we're doing this and mining this today, hoping for tomorrow to be good, is pretty much what's going on in theory here. Of course, the scalping comment, covering the market of RTM mining is good justification as well. Delgon is into some dirty business pool miner counter to blockchain diversity to promote both. For sure there. I had like 4K RTM before the peak. Oh, and sold it for 50 bucks. So I'm holding on now, that for sure. Oh no, not your bid. It's crazy. And I was thinking back of it, like when I gave away that, when I had that contest here for a giveaway of 50, I gave away 50 USD worth of Raptoreum and the price was like a cent or something. So that went times 5. So literally that was like worth $200 or $300, you know, a few weeks later after that giveaway. So hopefully that person is still holding on to that, because who knows, that could turn into like, I don't even remember how many coins it was, but it could end up to be like, if it hits $1 or something, a couple $1,000, unless they sold it. Test of a test, the first test. Yeah. Oh, crazy. Any case, Justin, December and summer. December and summer, yeah. Summer or December, one of the two. One of the two is going to happen. Usually, the way it's looking like, usually the last 2 cycles, 2013 and 2017, the cycles ended in December, middle to end of December, which is coming up, and everything's looking the same as those past charts, which is why they're predicting, you know, potentially next month could be the nice end of this crypto cycle, which means crypto winter for the next couple of years. But it may be extended because of all these other things that are happening on the networks. So maybe pretty much the time Ethereum does move the merge is right when it's going to happen. Won't that look good? Ethereum merge, everyone's pumped up. Yeah, and then winter hits. Bam! Everything crashes. Good job, Vitalik. What a good time to do it. Oh, anyway, good stuff. The shipping is for 17 December. What's for December 17th? What shipping? What are you guys talking about? Shipping? You're talking about the new CPUs? I gotta head out. Good stream. Yeah, I gotta head out here too. My throat is like killing me. I'm gonna fall over here soon. Any word on the server so far? Oh, server PSU testing. Aragon Strada. Yes. So far the server PSU on my 5 rig working 100% just fine. I have no issues. There were some people who ordered different ones and they have melted them already. So keep in mind, make sure they are 5mm to 2.5 millimeters, not 5mm to the inside diameter of 2.1. That is not rated for as much power. I do not 100% even know the power ratings on them. But thanks to Fudweiser, we've been talking and whatnot. And I actually ordered a soldering gun and, you know, some supplies for all this crypto stuff. And I've never done this stuff before, but it's going to be fun. You know, maybe we'll burn something or melt something, but stay tuned for that. It'll be interesting. But I do plan on, we're going to be soldering. We're going to be removing those barrel plugs, chopping off the end there with the barrel plug. We're going to be soldering on wires directly, shrink wrapping it, all this good stuff, you know, and ultimately it will eliminate that barrel plug altogether, and the wires should handle even higher overclock. So that's what I plan on doing in the future, and we're going to see how that works out. And obviously we're going to be doing this on video. Will I probably do something wrong? That'll be fun. From the giveaway. Oh, from the giveaway. Gotcha. Any word on the server? Okay, we went through that. That 10K RTM is my main iNodes node. Oh, was that you? Was that you that won, Golden Wolf? Oh no. Okay, right on. There we go. So that's actually sweet cake. Golden Wolf must have been the winner there. And that's how much it was. It was 10K. So imagine if that hits $1. It hits that hits $1. That's 10K I gave to Golden Wolf. So I bet you he'd love that. Oh, plus whatever he staked off it. So at least he's still holding on to it. That's a good thing. So a lot of people, they probably would have sold it by now. A lot of people have been selling it, but update your fire insurance. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to update my insurance before I start doing you know, these soldering tests. What's the other site for 011 you can link up? What do you mean by the other site? I'm not sure what you mean by the other site. Do I still have 011 in here? Hold on. Are you talking about your dashboard? You can go to your dashboard once I get this to boot. Load up here. So you can click on the side and then click your, look at all my different wallet. Can you guys see all that? Oh, you can't. Hold on. So all my testing wallet addresses that are here, like boom, all these different ones here. This is the current one that's, yeah, this is the solo one right now that's going head to head with Monero Ocean as well as Haven. So this is my solo single rig doing that head to head test in that address. So this is my main wallet address. Just let that do its thing. We'll let that load for a while. When we go back into here, talk for a couple minutes, and then I will have to run because wow, we've been in here for almost 2 hours. That's insane. My throat is very dry. I'm almost out of water. Can you add some links to buy some good motherboards and processors for CPU mining? Well, you know, for sure. Actually, I have a build right here. If you are unfamiliar, let me go to full screen right quick. Make it a little bigger. So, like this website I use with these crypto prices, if you're new to the channel, you are unaware, this is my own website. This is rabidmining.com. You can see, like, we got my merch store here, rocking and rolling. You know what? Let's take a look at that. Actually, first I'm going to show you the CPU mining rig build. I'm going to click on that. I have recommended parts that I do use. So here you can see I talk about the CPU a little bit. I have recommended like links to CPUs here. Obviously it's the 3 and 5000 series. This is the motherboard I use. The different RAMs I kind of talk about up here in the write-up. These are the 2 RAMs I do have. Obviously you need a hard drive, then some power supplies, and then, you know, some little guides that I have with my rig builds and different RAM comparisons. So have a lot of stuff. I do blogging once in a while. I haven't blogged for a while, but I will send this link if you are looking for, you know, parts list or something. Just check out my website, rabidmining.com. Spread the word too. If people are looking, just hit Rabid Mining. Say rabidmining.com. He has your answers. Speaking of that, let's check out the merch store while we're here, because why not? Click on top right corner, hit the old merch store. Is it not loading? Merch. Go. Okay. Dark mode is kind of broken right now, so I have to put it on light mode when it comes to the merch store. So there you go. We got some merch stuff here. We got face masks. I personally use these myself everywhere I go. So if you see if you're in Alberta and you see someone wearing this mask, it's either me or my daughter. And obviously you shouldn't mix the two of us up. So I wear that. Obviously I got this sweater. You've seen it multiple times. My little one, she has this sweater. She wears that one. I want to get this hat. I don't have this hat yet. So I still have to order this hat. I guess I do have stickers here. I forgot I put stickers on, but here's some merch stuff. I'm going to be adding a lot more here pretty soon. I just haven't had really any time to it. Oh, and here's that saying I did in one of those videos a while back. Can we see it up close? Let me click on this. Can we zoom in? There we go. Look at this. NVIDIA, inspired by gamers, made by NVIDIA, purchased by miners. Is that just not true or what? Oh, we got the Rabid Mining symbol on the side shirt here. Look at that. Inspired by gamers, made by NVIDIA, purchased by miners. Nice. I love it. So yeah, this is my little website here. Go back home. Just wanted to point out I do have my own little merch store that I put together all by myself. Now get dark mode back on, bottom right corner. There we go. Back to normal. Little sales pitch on my end, I guess. Boom. All right, what's going on here in the chat? 2 hours? Yeah, it's been 2 hours. It's insane. This is like the longest we've ever gone. No wonder I'm ready to fall over. Oh, for the board, does ATX, ITX, etc. make a difference for raptoreum mining? For the board? No, it doesn't. The one thing you do have to keep in mind on when using on motherboards for CPU mining is the limitations of the motherboard itself. Obviously, you want it to support the CPU and whatnot, but if you want to run efficient, you should be okay as long as the motherboard supports it. But people have been talking about the 5000 series and whatnot, and you want to start using Precision Boost Overdrive 2 or even overclocking it to get more hash rate, which isn't worth it. I'm still still saying that, but you are going to need a better motherboard, because your motherboard VRAMs, they'll overheat, you'll fry your motherboard, you know, stuff will happen. It won't have steady voltages to your CPU, things like that, all are issues. So if you do plan on overclocking your CPU fairly high, you will have to go to, you know, the better gaming type of motherboards for CPU mining. Now, if you plan on running efficient and, you know, doing nice low all-core overclocks like 3.6 or 3.8, then as long as that motherboard does support the CPU, you should be just fine running it, which saves you a lot of money. And I recommend running efficient over those massive overclocks anyway. One, CPU degradation. You pumping all that volts into your CPU, a couple years down the road, you're going to need even more voltage to get the same hash rates, and ultimately your CPU will just die because you just degraded it too much. So undervolting, running it cool are all the best things to do for your CPU and keep longevity on that CPU so it runs as long as possible. I want some stickers. Yeah, I just saw the other, like, I guess there are some stickers there. I didn't even know. What the heck? I guess now I gotta go through my sticker department and see what's going on there. Thoughts on flux mining? Golden Wolf. Oh, yeah, Golden Wolf. What pool do you use for Haven? What am I using for Haven? I'm not even sure. Probably a pool. I think I'm using a pool I shouldn't be using because it's like the flock pool of Haven. But I'm just doing it for a week and that's it. I'm off. So the pool I'm using Haven Mine, Hash Vault. Looks like I'm using Hash Vault right now. Then obviously I'm using Monero Ocean for mining. I think it mines Haven most of the time as well. VRAM degradation, more like, yeah, very true. But there are actually reports. That leaves a big misconception here between. It's a big argument all the time. Like you see blog posts coming from like PC Gamer and stuff. Anything dedicated to gaming, anything that comes in from mining is really funny because it's all degraded. It's not worth buying. It's not going to perform as good. But you really think about it, as miners, we're better in our GPUs. We're undervolting. We're trying to keep them cool. Yes, they're running 24/7, but it's a nice steady voltage and everything. Same thing applies to CPU mining. We're undervolting it. We're keeping them nice and cool. We're running it long term, yes, but we're keeping temperatures down and nice steady voltages and, you know, underclocking these things. When you're gaming, you're using single thread, double thread type of performances here. Like Farming Simulator just came out. It's a 4-core, 8-thread game. Like games are now starting to use multi-threads and multi-cores. Like it's pretty crazy, you know, how the newer games are being built for that. But it used to always be single core performance. But anyway, regardless, you're using, you know, less threads, but each thread is pumping up higher. With that, the voltage is pumping up, and over time you do start to degrade it. And there are Reddit posts of 3000 series CPUs, which you don't really see in all these gaming things, where they are dying. They're being degraded because of all this happening. So once you start degrading your CPU and then you're mining with it at those high overclocks, then ultimately, yes, you will start losing. You'll notice hash rates starting to drop off. You'll notice reboots and all sorts of things. And if you notice more voltage needed for that CPU, you'll know you're in the brink of CPU degradation that is starting to happen on your CPU. And one other thing that is different when it does come to CPU mining over GPU mining is it takes a lot longer to know if your system is actually stable. I found that out when I was mining XMR. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're running your CPU at you're running 4 gigahertz, you're using about 1.1 volts or something, right? And it's going good. And then all of a sudden your miner quit. This is an issue I had when I first started. And there wasn't much info on it because there wasn't much CPU miners. But it was about a year ago. I couldn't figure out what is going on. Why is this happening? Obviously, when I first started overclocking my CPU and it didn't have enough voltage, your system would just reboot. And then you add a bit more, your system would reboot, you know, maybe within 12 hours. It'd reboot within a day and you're okay. Now, that means you're pretty good. Now you're running it for a month, you're a week or a month or so, and no system reboots. You think you're stable. That's not entirely the case. You are noticing your miner is starting to shut off, which I did notice. I'd wake up in the morning, my miner wasn't running. My CPU and everything would be good. There was no reboot. Everything was still up that I had, but my miner wasn't running. I was like, oh, great. Now what's going on? So that becomes an issue of needing a little bit more voltage as well. And I really think you do not know your CPU rig is 100% stable till it mines for at least 7 days straight without a single system reboot and without a single miner reboot. That's kind of like how you'll guess how your system is performing. Like I said, if you need a lot more voltage, your system will just reboot right off the get-go. If you're getting really close to stable, or like it's stable that it stays running, but it's not quite at the right amount of voltage, you will start noticing your miner to reboot a little bit. And that means all you need is a slight bit more voltage. So keep adding a little bit. And once you have a full 7 days of no miner reboots or anything, then you should feel fairly safe that you have some nice stable settings. So it does take a lot longer to actually tune your CPU. And that's why the numbers I give you are numbers that I know are stable, because previously for me to actually get to where I am, it took weeks of testing of the smallest amount of voltages to actually get a stable system without a miner crash or anything. And then eventually I got these numbers, and these are what I test for you guys and give you what I have been doing, because it was very, very frustrating first trying to get things running straight for a full week without any type of hiccups or interrupts. Oh, okay. Rabid raid on Panda. Oh, is Panda coming on soon? Oh, yeah, it's 1 o'clock. What time is he starting? What is the best motherboard after X470? Seems to get... Yeah, the X470, I can't even find the motherboard I use anymore. I love the X470 MSI Gaming Max. A few people had some issues, but I can't find it anymore. I look it up, gone. Budweiser actually sent me a link, and it's supposed to be coming in here soon, but I forgot about that. I gotta check it out and see if it's coming back again though. But yeah, I cannot find any motherboards that I like, so I just go to the next cheapest model, because I do underclock and undervolt, so overclocking on the motherboard is not an issue for me. You can get those cheaper ones. But like I said, someone in the live chat earlier said you can find a nice deal on a good motherboard for really cheap if you just find it at the right time. Are you a full-time miner, or do you have a day job? Currently I'm just a full-time miner type of person. I originally was with drilling rigs and everything, but with the whole COVID situation, I've been off for a long time. So pretty much my only source of income, I guess, would be, YouTube and my mining. So I use my mining to purchase everything you see here. My Ethereum gets turned into my mining rigs, gets turned into my CPU rigs. So that's where all that stuff comes from. Panda just started 5 minutes ago. All right, guys. So I guess we do have to wrap this unit up. So let's just try to find Panda here. YouTube. We're going to go find Red Panda here. We're going to do a raid. Make sure everybody goes and checks out. Hey, there we are. We're live. Let's raid ourselves. So I'm going to run into Panda here. Hopefully he doesn't get mad that we're kind of showing him right off the get-go. I'm going to give you guys the link. You guys run in there. Rabid raid. I'd like to appreciate all you guys for showing up. Much appreciated. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Rabid out.